Hey friends, welcome back to Align with Me. This is where I pop on every Tuesday and go behind the scenes and share with you what is actually going on right now as I'm growing my real estate business and in the ways that I am helping and coaching other agents that are dealing with the same types of things that you are. Hey to everybody who's joining, glad to have you guys. My mission here is to help you build a business that is aligned, that's solid, that is sustainable. So every Tuesday I go live with real-time perspectives on what I'm learning, what I'm doing with my team, what I'm coaching, and what I think you need to hear right now, not just to get more done, but so that you also can be building like the CEO that you are. So if you've missed the last couple episodes, we have been going on a journey. So the first week of July was all about the myth of endless hustle and why overworking is a ceiling, not a strategy. The second week was about building emotional wealth and how your nervous system is really going to be either your biggest asset or your limiting factor, because it really is your business strategy. You can only hold as much as your nervous system is regulated to do. Week 3, we got into systems mode and we talked about systems that actually help set you free instead of that feel like a trap and that you procrastinate and don't ever use. So especially if you've been in reactive mode, that third week of July episode is for you. Last week, we talked about boundaries that help build your capacity and how your energy architecture actually shapes what you're able to hold. So you can actually go back and rewatch any of those if you want. You can find them on my Instagram feed, or you can go to my YouTube channel. You can find the link in the bio and they're all there. And you can just go binge them if you want to. Trust me, they are worth it. But today's message is different. And the reason why is because this is the week where we talk about all of those things. All the things that we've been talking about start to collide with your calendar. And I took a little poll yesterday on Instagram stories to see if I was the only one who was feeling this just like weirdness in this season. So right now it's the very end of July. It still very much feels like summer. In fact, it is blazing hot here in Nashville, but the kids are still out of school, but they're about to go back. Target has their shelves stocked. We're getting all these emails about do this, do that. Our fall calendars are filled up. So it's just this weird in-between season. It is still very much summer from a seasonal standpoint, but we are already having to be looking very far ahead because we're in that shift. And so what I keep hearing from my students in my DMs, on my coaching calls, even in my own head this week is, I feel behind. I feel a little lost. I feel like I should be farther along this year than I am right in this moment. And also, I still want to enjoy summer, but my brain is starting to spiral. So if this sounds familiar to any of you guys, please let me know. But this week, this moment, this very end of the summer from the standpoint of our schedules, it just hits different. And there's a subtle panic in the air if you're like me or anywhere around. And there's this weird fog that's kind of like, what now? Like, what do we do right now? So today I want to just offer you a reframe that's been helping me as well as my clients this week. And that is that you're not behind, you're just in between. Okay. And I don't like being in between. I don't like being in the messy middle. I like to be firmly in one place or another place, but that's just not how it is sometimes. And that's just where we need to accept that we are right here in this moment and lean into that. So last week I shared a story about surrounding myself with these amazing other entrepreneurs in different fields, not just real estate, that are building big businesses. I got invited to a birthday party of a dear friend and made so many connections with these absolutely outstanding women who are just building big, beautiful brands, big, beautiful things. And what I realized, and in talking to them and hearing from them, and these women are, in my opinion, far ahead of me in terms of their businesses. But what I learned and what I heard from them is that this feeling of behindness usually comes right before a big identity shift. And so when you're feeling that pressure, like you're behind on tasks, it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're broken. It's not because you don't actually have the answers. It's just because you're simply in between. You're stuck between who you were, the over-functioning people pleaser hustler, and who you need to be and who you're stepping into, which is the aligned CEO, the visible leader, the woman who trusts herself. And that middle ground where you are right now, it's normal to feel foggy, to feel a little stuck, to wonder if you've somehow missed something. But the truth is, this is exactly the moment that you have to build anyway. So let me tell you a little bit about how I'm seeing this play out with students that are in my program, The Collective, right now. So Melissa is preparing to go on maternity leave, and she's a little bit of a newer agent. So she's dealing with some questions of imposter syndrome and how she builds a temporary team. And she feels ill-equipped to do that, but she's pushing through anyway. Amanda is a high-level leader, high-level real estate agent who's finally hiring for support because she's realizing that doing it all herself is not in the highest and best use of her time anymore. And she does not want to miss out. She wants to stay on top of the curve, even though she's a wildly experienced agent who's been around a long time. She's realizing she now has to run her business in a completely different way to compete with the agents that are new to the business but have the marketing chops that she didn't have. Lindsay has 5 amazing agents on her team, but she is starting to realize that even though they may be great people, they might not be the right people to build the team that's going to help her get to her next level. Laura is partnering with another agent, and she has had some fears around being overlooked in her business. So she's really focused these past few months on building her systems and her structure so that when she partners with this other agent steps into her frameworks instead of coming in and taking over. And then Jennifer is actually a brand new agent, but even though she's brand new, she is bringing in so many leads from Instagram that she's going ahead and building a team of her own. She is not hiding, she is not waiting, she is not telling herself that she can't or that she hasn't proven herself yet. She's just moving. And that's the common thread, is that none of these women feel ready to step into what they're stepping into, but they are all choosing to build like they belong here. So what I'm teaching in the collective today in depth, but I want to give you a little teaser of, is this new framework that I've created called the B.E.L.O.N.G method. So if you're somewhere, not in the car, that you can like write something down, you got a pencil and paper, I want you to write this down. This is what I teach when you are stuck and you know that it's time to move, but you're dealing with some self-doubt, okay? This is the B.E.L.O.N.G method. The B stands for break the benchmark trap. Stop measuring your success by somebody else's timeline, okay? The E stands for embody the energy of what's next. You have to lead from who you're becoming, not who you've already been. The L stands for lead before you're ready. Action is what builds confidence. You don't just get confidence and then you move. You gain confidence once you've done it and you show yourself that you could. So it's not the other way around. It's uncomfortable, but it's required. The O means own the identity shift. Growth feels messy. There is no doubt about it. It is tough. It is difficult. If it was easy, everybody would do it all the time. But it feels messy because you're actually shedding new skin. You're actually becoming a new version of yourself. And it's just a little bit of a painful transformation, but it's so worth it. And then the N stands for name what you're building. Okay, we've talked about this a lot if you've been following me for a while. Clarity is what kills chaos, and you cannot build from chaos. So say it out loud. What it is you are doing, what goal you have, creating your dream team. Name it, say it, call it out. And then finally, the G in belong says get the support you deserve. Your next level does not come by doing it alone. Does not come by doing it alone. You absolutely have to get support in order to hit your next level. Maybe that looks like a transaction coordinator. Maybe it looks like a VA. Maybe it looks like an in-person assistant. Maybe it looks like a buyer's agent. Maybe it looks like a fractional CFO or CMO or CEO. Like there's a million ways to get support. Maybe it just looks like a housekeeper. Maybe you just need somebody to come take the burden of cleaning your house every other week off your plate. Wherever you are in your career, it doesn't matter. You need to figure out where and how you can leverage the support of other people to hit your next level. So if you're feeling behind, I just want you to know that you actually may be farther along than you think. If you are feeling stuck, if you're feeling this friction of being in between, just know that's right where you're supposed to be and you're on the verge of a breakthrough. So this is the reason why this message is so important this week. This is what this is building up to, okay? Next week, starting in August, I'm gonna have a whole new theme, and it's gonna be all about visibility with integrity. We're gonna be unpacking why visibility, why showing up, like being on social media, is a leadership skill. It is not just marketing. We're going to talk about how to learn how to share without oversharing. So you're not the cringy person that people are posting about and sharing their story to be like, ugh, right? Like, how do you walk that fine line with being in your integrity while also visible, protecting privacy, protecting your family, but showing up as your authentic self. We're going to talk about how to show up in what I know all of you perceive as a saturated market. We're going to address what that looks like. How do you break through in a market that's already saturated with so many voices? And how to stop hiding behind perfectionism and just start showing up with your own magnetic clarity. But none of that matters if you still secretly believe that you are behind, which is why I wanted to give you this message today. I wanted to share this because this week is the bridge, because before we start talking about being visible, we have to get really honest with ourselves. So I will leave you with this. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are just in your in-between season, and you can still build like you belong here. So if you are somebody that this really resonates for and you are ready to build with systems and with clarity and with confidence and support, that's exactly what we do inside my program, the Elevated Agent Collective. If you're interested in learning more, DM me the word collective. I would love to chat with you, find out if you're a fit, and we will explore and see if you're ready to take next steps. But regardless, you've got this. I'm so proud of you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.